Welcome back, Little Big Heroes. Creation games are rare to come by, especially on consoles. Now, we are reaching a huge stage which may make it possible to genuinely create your own video games and animated movies, all from your PS4. Dreams is set to break records, and we certainly aren't the only ones excited to pick it up when it finally releases. But how did creation games evolve over time? I wanted to give you my story through the world of creative video games and what led me to Dreams. So to be honest, back in the day when I was a lot younger, I didn't really realise I was a creative person. It took a while to actually realise that, and I'll get to that later in the video, but I could always sort of resonate a lot with these creative type of games. I always felt like I wanted more of these games, but unfortunately the market wasn't there, especially on consoles. We just had to play linear games, sometimes open world games, but the ability to actually create things, quite rare. And the very first memory I have of being able to create something is back on the PlayStation 1. So we had Theme Park World. I know before they had a Theme Park Hospital, but I never played that one. But I remember when I played Theme Park World, I just thought, wow, this is incredible. You can actually design your own theme park, and not just design it, but actually try and run the theme park as the days go by. And for me, that was really cool. And I didn't really have anything else to compare it to, so I wasn't really thinking, oh, it would be cool if I could design these rides from scratch. You know, I was happy just picking them from a menu and slotting them down into place. Moving on a little bit, even though this is primarily a PC game, on the PlayStation 2 I used to play The Sims. Now this was good for creation because it allowed you to create your own characters with their own names, and you could design their own houses, their own gardens. You could do all sorts of different things, and for me that was again really cool. It allowed me to create things, you know, like I couldn't really create a story, but I could at least create characters now, create the inside of a home. Before it was just a theme park, now I was getting more close to home, literally. But it didn't really take off my creative process until I was on the PC. I played a game called The Movies, which was by Lionhead, which funnily enough contained some of the Media Molecule members. They used to be part of Lionhead before they left to form Media Molecule, so I don't know if they worked on The Movies. Maybe they did. I know that Lionhead had a lot of projects, so I'm not sure what exactly they worked on. But The Movies was basically like The Sims, except you made movies. So instead of just putting down the plot of land for the movie studio and casting actors and things like that, there was a separate mode where you could actually write your own script, and you could choose from a wide variety of scenarios and characters. You could even create your own characters and even voice act your own characters, and you could create like all different sorts of scenes. And that was like my first taste at really creating something. I got really excited about it because wow, I was like, oh, I can create my own characters, I can create my own story, my own action scenes. At the beginning it was just for fun. I wasn't really trying to make anything serious. If you look back at some of the creations I made, if I can still find them, I'll try and upload them to YouTube, but I don't think I can find them anymore. But they were really weird. Were really weird, but it was just a lot of fun. And I remember I used to have my friend over and we used to create together, and sometimes my brother would help and we'd create really crazy wacky movies. And it was really accessible because you just had to choose the environment, how many characters were in a particular scene, the action in the scene. So did they answer the phone? When they answered the phone, was it a happy conversation? Was it a threatening conversation? Did the doorbell ring? You know, did someone come downstairs? Did the oven go on fire? There was so many different options you could choose from and create a unique story, and it was just really, really cool. And for me, this was the best creation game that I had ever played, and I think it unlocked something in my brain that said I want more of this. For me, this was the best. I didn't know it was going to get more advanced in the future. So for me, The Movies was just unbeatable. Now, if we look at other PC games before we move on through time, we have of course Minecraft, and Minecraft is great because it allows you to create massive structures, and it is quite simple because it's all blocks. You don't really have to shape things, you just have to put it down. You can choose the different textures and you can build your own structures, and it's really cool to do that. Personally, I didn't really like Minecraft because I hated those restrictions that you couldn't manipulate the shape of the actual block. You know, you couldn't make a sphere, for example. You just had to use blocks. And because I played The Movies, I wanted something where I could actually create my own movie, and Minecraft didn't really allow me to do that, so I never really got interested in Minecraft. So I'm just going to wash right over Minecraft. I'm sorry if you guys really like it, but for me, I just hated how restrictive it was based on my other experiences, and by this point I did already play LittleBigPlanet, so it ruined Minecraft for me, because this isn't as good as LittleBigPlanet. LittleBigPlanet can do blocks, but it can also have a lot of logic. It can also do a lot of camera angles and music and dialogue and things like that, even gameplay, which Minecraft just doesn't allow you to do. Little special mention though for the Nintendo DS, because we had games like Scribblenauts, and whilst it's not that advanced, it's still pretty cool that you could use the touchscreen to draw your own drawings and it would enter into the world. So it was a good way of creating your own video game. Obviously a lot of limitations, but it was things like, okay, we need to create your character, draw your character. We need to create an animal, draw the animal. We need to draw an enemy. What kind of enemy? How do you define that enemy? So it's a good way to get yourself thinking about all the different assets that get involved in a 2D video game, but it's not something gameplay wise I was very interested in. It was something that was just a nice little thing. That was it. The biggest thing for me on the DS was the music creation games. Now I'm not a musician, so I can't really comment too much on that, but I did really enjoy just making music on some games. I can't even remember the name of the games that I played, but it was nice just to put down some drums, some guitars, play around, make some music, and that was really fun, really simple and really fun. But moving on to the big games here on the PlayStation 3 and PlayStation 4, we have the LittleBigPlanet series. So yeah, we're finally here. LittleBigPlanet 1, 2 and 3, all fantastic games despite the hate that number 3 gets. They're all excellent in what they do. When I started playing the first game, I thought, oh my god, this is just incredibly advanced. You could make your own environments, you could make your own games. At this point in time with LittleBigPlanet 1, you couldn't really make movies, but what you could do is make simple platformers, and you could create a story, you could put dialogue, you could create characters to talk to, and it was just so cool. Like, I was obsessed with LittleBigPlanet 1, but at the same time I was very casual about the whole thing. I didn't really take it seriously back then, it was just for fun. It wasn't until LittleBigPlanet 2 where they really stepped it up, not just for making games but also for making movies, because now you had camera angles, you had proper scenes that you could make. You could actually make your own movie. You could put down actors, which are Sackbots. It's like Sackboy, but you can change how it looks. And this was revolutionary for me because I could actually do something like I could do in the movies, but I would have much more control over a scene. I could actually build my environments from scratch, because in the movies it was all predefined. You could only choose from a selection of things, but in LittleBigPlanet 2 you could make everything from scratch, and I think that was the most important thing, being able to be creative but also create from scratch. And also the gameplay side of things from LittleBigPlanet 2, they added a lot of logic which allowed people to create things that weren't just platformers. You could create a whole wealth of things, and it really opened up what creative games were. And for a lot of people, LittleBigPlanet 2 is the greatest creation game ever, and for me it probably is too. It's better than the movies because it lets you create things from scratch, and it's just made so well. LittleBigPlanet 3 gets a lot of hate. I try and think about it like this: it adds a lot of great things to the series. I think if you look at it on that point of view, it's the best LittleBigPlanet game, but if you're looking at it overall, like everything that it achieved, then it's obviously not. But what it did allow you to do was it gave you custom animations. So before you had to just animate your character manually by flapping around the limbs. In LittleBigPlanet 3 it gives you so many animations to work from. You can do so much with it, and there's a few other little pieces where you can make 16 layers instead of 3, and it's playable layers, so you can put actors in the background walking around. It's much more easier to use, and for me this is where things really opened up. And if you look on the channel, we do have a lot of animations that we made using LittleBigPlanet 2 and LittleBigPlanet 3, and we haven't really made one in quite a while. Maybe we'll make a few more in the future, so maybe we'll make some more LittleBigPlanet 3 animations, show you guys what it can still achieve, which is still a lot, to be honest. But now that we're playing Dreams, we can see that Dreams offers a hell of a lot more but for me LittleBigPlanet 2 and 3 are still the best as it stands until Dreams arrives. You had some contenders that tried their best to beat LittleBigPlanet, so we had EA Create. Now the least that we say about this the better, because the game looks awful. It looks so bad. It looks like if you took LittleBigPlanet 1 and then you stripped it down to the bare bones, and I think it's fair to say that this game failed, and I don't understand why they made it in the first place. If you're not going to compete with LittleBigPlanet, why bother? And another game which I didn't play because it was on Xbox One, it's called Project Spark. Now I don't know how much you guys know about this game. I don't really know too much about it because I don't have an Xbox One. It seems like it's a lot like Dreams, a lot like LittleBigPlanet. You can create in 3D basically. I don't know how advanced it is. I took a look at some projects on YouTube and things don't look that great. It looks like it tries to be Dreams, tries to be LittleBigPlanet, but it's a bit too rough around the edges. But if you've played it, maybe I'm wrong, maybe it's actually really good, a lot better than I think it is, but just from the footage I checked out, it doesn't look like I missed out on much, and it seems like it's not really going to compete with something like Dreams. And I think Microsoft already shut down Project Spark, so I don't think you can even buy it anymore. Apparently they removed it from the Xbox marketplace. Maybe you'll have to check that for me, but it just couldn't compete, and I think that's where Media Molecule really come in. And I think it's no coincidence that Lionhead, aka Media Molecule in disguise, who made the movies, and now Media Molecule, who are making the LittleBigPlanet series and Dreams, it seems like these guys are the masters of creativity. These are the people that we needed. If we didn't have these guys, we wouldn't have LittleBigPlanet, we wouldn't have Dreams. We wouldn't be able to create our own content. We'd be stuck just playing everybody else's professionally made content. You know, I want to play some crappy content, you know, what's wrong with that? And it just makes you think like how much you have to appreciate Media Molecule and all of their staff, how much you have to appreciate Sony for giving them this opportunity to create these very ambitious, you know, still quite risky games, but extremely ambitious. And I really hope that Dreams is just as big or even bigger and a success than LittleBigPlanet, because I want it to thrive. I want it to prove just why it exists. A lot of people get frustrated with these professional games these days because they don't finish them. They release them in a very unfinished state. So if you look at Battlefield 5, if you look at Fallout 76, these games, they just aren't finished. And there's a lot of games that put out microtransactions and they really try and make gaming look really horrible. I think Sony have done a fantastic job with a lot of their exclusives, like God of War and Horizon, The Last of Us, things like that. They've really tried to make an experience that's complete, and it's complete for single player, not only just multiplayer, but single player. And I think that is something that's really important, and hopefully Dreams is the next step. Hopefully a lot of people can support Dreams, it can be a success, maybe not a day one success, but overall throughout the years it can grow, become even more successful, and there can be a market for both Dreams content and professional regular content, because I want to support Dreams on the channel as much as I possibly can. I want to create on Dreams as much as I possibly can. I want to play as much as I possibly can on Dreams from you guys, because I see that as the future of game development, and I really hope that it does evolve into something in the future, whether that's in Dreams or whether it's in Dreams 2 or some other future creation game. I hope that it becomes really accessible for people to make their own video games. They don't have to be masters at programming. You can just pick up Dreams, make a game, and then you can sell it, and wouldn't that be fantastic? And if it gives some people a spotlight to get employed by professional studios, then fantastic, because I think that's what we need. We don't just need people with fancy degrees saying, hey, I can make video games. We need proof that you can make this, and not just people who can program. We also want to see people who can make games without programming, just by modeling and animating and doing general game design. I think all of these things are really important, and that's something that which Dreams can really excel in. So it's quite a short list of games that I've presented to you. Maybe I've missed out on some things. I've maybe forgotten some games that I played that were quite creative, or maybe there's some games which I didn't even realise existed, and you can let me know about them and maybe I can try them out, see what I think. But for me, I think this is a very slow path that eventually led us to Dreams, a very, very advanced system and I can't wait to play it with you all when it finally releases. So what about you guys? What was your creative journey on the way to Dreams? What creative games did you like to play in the past? Did you play LittleBigPlanet? Did you play the movies? Did you even just play The Sims and loved that? And do you think Dreams is the best creation game ever made? Let us know down in the comments below. Thanks for watching today's Dreams video. See you in the next Dreams video.